Taxmann team and the participants who have joined today. Uh, I welcome you all. And so the today's topic for the webinar is use of AI in finance, accounting, and tax. So we all know that AI is no longer a buzzword, but it's a real world case wherein its applications and use cases are growing day by day. We are seeing phenomenal development over the period, beginning from the introduction of the chat GPT to the introduction of AI dedicated models for finance, tax, and accounting. So the possibilities are endless in terms of the use cases for finance, accounting, and tax professional. So given this agenda, uh, our session would, for today's session, will take care of some of the basic concepts about the AI and this generative AI technology and the buzzwords around that. Then we'll see some specific use cases about the chatbots, how it can help us in performing our research, analysis, and the routine content creation work, which we used to spend a lot of time earlier, but it can be done quite efficiently and quite smartly with the help of the AI and the tools. Then we'll see how the chatbots and the can help us in streamlining our work in Microsoft Office applications of Excel, Word, and PPT, how we can do that. Then branding and social media management is another uh, area which is quite often ignored by us. And the reason being we don't have time or we don't have the relevant skills to do that. But with the help of the AI, a lot of this work in term can be handled very in an automated manner and very little time consuming manner. So in that way, we can spend our quality time with the social media and branding and create a niche for ourselves. Then we'll take care of some specific tools for bookkeeping and accounting related or solutions. What are those in the market and what it can done for you uh, when it can be combined with your traditional bookkeeping tools like Tally. So how it can AI can empower that bookkeeping techniques. Then also we'll go through some practice management and office management automation tools if the time permits. So without any further, we'll see the first mm, agenda item, which is the basic concept. Now, if I talk about the new buzzword which is being created is AI and the Gen AI. While AI is always there for quite a long period, but this generative AI is a new concept with the advent of the Chat GPT somewhere in 2022 November. So, what changed between 2022 and prior to that? So earlier we have AI, which stands for artificial intelligence. It is used for mainly for the purpose of analysis purpose, wherein we give them the data, the machine, the data. It creates some analysis for us, maybe uh, do some research for us, but it doesn't generate any new content for us, or it does not generate anything new for us. But with the generative AI, the primary distinction factor between the traditional AI model is that the generative AI is being trained on a very vast amount of data. And with this vast amount of data, it has created its own knowledge base. And, um, using that knowledge base, it has now the capability to not only create analysis, but to also generate new content. So this is the main difference between the traditional AI model and the generative AI model. Now, again, with the fact that it can generate its own content on its own, there are limitations and there are ethical considerations around it, meaning that the content may not be accurate or it may be biased or it may not be ethically correct. So we need to follow the right checks and balances while implementing the generative AI technology. Now, the next part related to the Gen AI is LLMs and NLP. What are those? So LLMs stands for large language models. So these are the models wherein we feed the vast amount of data, and that data is being used to generate the response we see in the chat GPT, Gemini, or other tools. So LLMs are the models which wherein we feed the data, they understand the data, apply the relevant logics to the data for training purpose, and come up with the output. Then NLP is natural language processing, which is the the data is trained in a manner wherein it can answer the questions in a natural human language processing way. Unlike the traditional binary coding technologies or the Python coding, wherein there are certain specified keys or uh, words which computer can understand, now the NLP is our natural language in which we write, email, or converse. So this is the NLP. It's like a human language. Uh, we communicate with the computer in a human language and not the traditional coding language, which makes it far more easier to use even for a person who does not know the traditional coding. Now, the other example is other concept is GPTs and custom GPT. So GPT is basically the language behind the chat GPT model. It's the uh, pre-trained models, which stand for geographically pre-trained models. So they are the models which forms the foundation of the chat GPT model. And custom GPT is it's a feature in the chat GPT where we can, I will show this later on during our demonstration, that you can create your own knowledge base and create a chatbot like ChatGPT, which answers based on the knowledge base that you have provided. Of course, it would the knowledge base that you have provided would be limited because ChatGPT has billions of tokens of data compared to the data that we provide. Then the other is hardware related compute power and GPUs. So uh, with the rise of the AI, there is a need for powerful processing computers and hardwares that can handle this vast amount of processing. So there are specified, very specialized types of chips are now being produced by large AI companies like NVIDIA, AMD, which are called GPUs or specialized chip that can handle this AI processing. Now, again, an important concept and very useful to understand what is AI and automation. Now, so while uh, AI and automation, they are not similar terms, but they are complementing each other. So automation means we can uh, simplifying the routine tasks or a manual task which human used to perform with a computer or a machine. And but earlier, the scope of the automation is quite limited in a sense that we can perform only repetitive nature of tasks or which has some which follows only a particular pattern. But now, with the help of the AI, even complex tasks can be automated because AI can now apply the intelligence of human and can understand the pattern in the task, and it can automate those tasks which were not so easy to automate before, I would say, the AI becomes so prevalent. So we can automate with the help of AI the complex task. And hyper automation is a mix of when you do mix of automation and AI, it's called hyper automation. And then there are some low code technologies or emerging technologies which help businesses to automate many of their tasks even without knowing the formal coding. Some prominent technology is RPA or OCR, which does the task of automating your task without the help of formal coding skills or development skills. So this is just the basic about AI and the new technologies that we are seeing around. Now let's move on to some practical use cases. And throughout this presentation, our focus will be more on the hands-on use cases. So I'll straight away go to the first use case of ours, which is uh, using Chat GPT for document analysis or let's say or relevant to our professional work, let's say for any direct text update, for any checklist, or for any reply that we may have. So let me just go straight to the chat GPT. See, okay, so the name of the link is chat.openai.com or simply chatgpt.com. And I can simply go with now the first use. And there is, I would also recommend that we also use CA which is introduced by our ICAI. So it contains repository of all your uh, committees like ICAI committee, direct tax, indirect tax, accounting standard, all the technical literature provided issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants so far. It contains a repository of that, and it has, like you can see, accounting standards, auditing standards, internal audit. So let's see if I want to go with the direct tax committee. I can, okay. And here I can go ask for complex questions as well as very maybe simpler questions or checklists. So let's see. First one I can go with document analysis. Okay, here I specifically don't need Chat GPT, but let me see if I need a document analysis. So this is a document that I have. It's a draft policy issued by the Karnataka government on global captive center. So this policy is a quite a long document, I would say, if you see some 50 odd pages. And I have a fair idea of this document, but I know what this document has in detail, what are the key action points being introduced here, so that I can get some relevant insights and maybe I can use this for writing my white paper, article, or just social media. But if I were to read this document in its entirety, it would take quite a lot of time for me. So I'll write a prompt here. Attached is the policy document issued by Karnataka government. Global Capability Center analyze the document and give the key action, key action points and reforms introduced. I need this for the purpose of writing an article. Comes the post. As you can see, it will start reading the document, and I can be assured of the fact that the content that it is generating, it would be accurate because the document itself I have given. So it's not a web generated content, but it's a content generated from the document that I have itself provided. So this is one use case wherein you can re- research or based on your any technical document you have, like OECD research paper, ICI guidance note, any case law that you would have, it can nicely summarize for you and give the action point or whatever you need. So while it generates the output, let's see the next use case we can explore. Okay, for any direct tax related updates, we can use CAGPT in the meanwhile. Let's see. So I Direct text. Okay, no worries. What I can straight away say is, let's say there is a recent Supreme Court judgment in the case of Rajiv Bansal on the reassessment. I want ICAI direct text GPT to prepare a summary of the judgment and what happened there. Prepare summary of the recent judgment Supreme Court in the case of Rajiv Bansal versus UI and the issue of validity of reassessment notices issued under solar regime. Let's see if it comes with any. There might be issue in a sense that for updates, the knowledge base is updated maybe till April 2024. So if it doesn't find anything, it can use also the uh, web knowledge as well. So let's see. It's coming up very great. I would say that for all the legal matters, you cannot rely on it very blindly, but for sure it will save your time. You can cross check it with the other legal sources and the Taxman, Taxutra, any other websites that you use for your direct tax updates. You can use those, but obviously it will help you a lot. And even if you want to check the authenticity of the notice, it sometimes gives the link as well. So give the source link as well. You can write. It will give the source where it this Eris Law Partners. Okay, if it's I can check for some tax guru is given the link. Okay, is given Amarchand law firm, another reputed law firm. So you can cross verify these sources and see if the content written here is making sense or not. Like we can see it's making fairly sense to my knowledge, but yeah, it's an AI, so you cannot rely on it completely, but it will give you a fair bit of idea. So this is one use case of using CA GPT and ChatGPT. Then the other use case I would say is, let's say I'm conducting a tax audit. Uh, Let's go, I will go to auditing board, or let's say I'm conducting a car audit. Audit under car 2020. Please provide me with a detailed checklist for each point car 2020. Include and in an Excel format if you want. The checklist should have columns, but columns like risk area, control procedure, audit procedure to be performed, and the results of the audit procedures. So it can give you the it's taking the ICAI guidance also. It will prepare an X. I mean, but again, what I would say is that this would not, you need to fine tune these prompts. Due to capacity of time, I will not be able to fine tune these prompts. But for each of the area, maybe you can respect specific, like for related party transaction, you can say the specific area for a internal audit. So this is very high level checklist. But as you go in detail, it can give you a very detailed checklist for each of the area you want, depending on your need and the area. This works on a general basis, but depending on the procedure and your understanding of the client, you can put an emphasis on a specific, like for a manufacturing company, you can put a more emphasis on fixed assets and inventory, whereas for a service sector, maybe doing having significant transaction with related party, you can do for a related party and the revenue. So based on the area, you can fine tune your prompts and the areas which you need. And it can generate an Excel sheet as well if I ask. Yes, generate an Excel sheet. Otherwise, you can simply copy this table in an Excel and you can modify it on your own. So this is example for the chat GPT to uh, do this. Let's do another example on, let's say, I want to respond to a statutory notice again. Okay, I received a notice from GST authorities. The notice is on the, let's say, difference between GST 1 and GST 3B liability. Read the notice and prepare a draft response rebutting the allegations of the authority. And I would say include relevant provisions of GST Act and any relevant circular notification or judicial decision. Just open the use case. So let's say this is the notice ASMT 10 I have with me. Okay. Hopefully it should be able to come up. In the meanwhile, you can have a look at the things. Just- I would say it's 60 to 80% is the accurate. This is the notice. It will appropriately address it to the authorities, give you the format. Number wise, it's also okay. And it will give you the outline of the response that you can prepare. Still, you need to do some work in terms of getting the required reconciliation from the clients. And but a lot of drafting work it would take away, and you can focus on the upon review tax invoice we have identified. It is automatically given you some grounds like the like certain adjustments. Maybe it's because of the temporary difference because we have said that we do not agree, and it has also given a relevant to the circular. I would recommend we check this circular because it might generate sometimes erroneous circular reference, but it has tried to give you the relevant output. We can check this, and I would say earlier, if it used to take 2 to 3 hours of our time, we can complete our job at least in 1 hour or less than 1 hour. So we already have a template kind of a thing with all the data being captured from the notice and provisions. We need to check the legal provisions and the back it with the data, which we anyways have to do. But some of the job I would say is eased because of this, and we can continue. And as you, so this, to be very honest, ChatGPT is your own personal assistant. So as you ask more questions, as you ask more related about your particular field of interest or your work, it will get trained and it will get give you more accurate response depending on by understanding your personal tone and how the way you do research. So it all depends how do you prompt and what kind of work you do in the future. So I have opened a new tab only for this demo, but otherwise, if I opened my own personal chat GPT where I using regularly, it would have given maybe a different answer, and it will give different answer for everyone because it's a personal chatbot. So this is the first use case where we have demonstrated the use cases of ChatGPT in drafting a notice or summarizing a report, generating some checklist, and getting a case law update. So I think this is one use case for ChatGPT, I think, of AI. Then I would say Uh, there is another use case which is very specific. I would say not very specific, but very common to each and everyone, which based on the work kind of work we do in our, which is Word, Excel, and PPT. Everyone would use this in their office, or maybe in practice, or maybe in job. So Microsoft 365 gives you two options for having a Copilot. They give you Copilot free in your Office 365 with some limited capabilities, but they also offer you Copilot paid version, the Studio version and the Pro version, which is like 2000 or 2400 per month. But depending upon your use cases, you can uh, see the Copilot results. But anyways, Copilot does not stop you. If you have Office 365, you can ask the queries on the web and it will give you pretty accurate results. And since Microsoft has a stake in OpenAI ChatGPT, so the results generated from Copilot are as good as ChatGPT. And the added advantage of Copilot is that it does a search on your OneDrive as well. If you have data as well, like if you have lots of content stored in your OneDrive, Copilot will very nicely searches your hard drive in terms of OneDrive and gives you a very curated output because at the end it's all upon your past data, whatever you have stored, maybe because that's how we also sometimes work. Like if we are in a hurry, we need to prepare a presentation or something. We look upon some past PPTs, try to modify it, and so here I go with my first use case, which I just uh, let me just open the prompt and we'll see the output as well. Let's see. So I have a PPT. Let's say I have I was busy with my daily task and I have a speakership commitment as well, wherein I need to prepare a PPT for a lecture, which is let's say next week or next 1 or 2 days, and uh, but I know that I can be able to manage because I have a PPT which is, let's say, somewhere in April, which is similar. And now I want to update this PPT or put it in a more finer way. So what will I do? Let's see the PPT that I have earlier created. It's some issue. Yeah. let's see. So I have this PPT fairly, which is like 10-15 slides, and it was somewhere in, let's say, April. Now I want this PPT to be updated. It has issues, all that I want. They are still relevant, but I needed to get it updated with as of now content and some customization. So what I'll do, I'll go to Copilot. I'll give this prompt. Just give me a bit. This is the prompt I have. I'm invited at an India tax conference to give an overview of the recent developments in the analyze the attached PPT. Just analyze the attached PPT and prepare a a slide covering 10 to 15. And I also give a prompt. Can you add some more latest developments in international context relevant for India between, let's say, May 24 to October, covering latest judicial precedent, important circulars, and rulings? It does a very nice job. It includes the latest international progress rails, higher, maybe some more relevant, but it gives you a nice PPT. Then I ask them, okay, combine the above two responses into one single presentation structure. It combines the presentation into one single structure and add more detail. Now, the presentation that it generates, it has some less detail. I want it to be more detailed. I asked them, okay, give him some more details. It added more the details in the content. Now it's feeling more relevant. Okay, this is where the role of Copilot and PPT comes because this task we can do it at their end. But now I have the content, but I don't want this content to be manually posting each time for myself in the PPT. So what I did, I asked them give me a VBA code. VBA is Visual Basic Code, which is like a backend code of creating for every presentation that I need to create. There is a behind the scenes, there is a code. So I asked a Copilot to give me a VBA code. So it gives me a VBA code, which I have pasted here. This is a VBA code of the presentation that I am discussing. Now, all I did is just bear with me a while. I open a, let's say, a new presentation. There is a feature of insert module in the Visual Basic window. The shortcut key is Alt F11. In insert, I go insert module. I created the VBA code that Copilot provided with me. Now I go to the run. I go to run. I run macro. You can see the presentation has been created successfully. So now I don't need to put the content manually in my presentation slide by slide. Now you would say that this is the PPT, okay, but this is very plain and I would say less appealing for a presentation. It's good content wise, but I need to maybe refine a bit. So for refining this, I used a tool called Gamma.app. In Gamma, uh, let me show you the step by step. So in Gamma, I have three options to design my PP. One is upload a file I can from Google Drive or from. So I uses this upload from file. Okay. And this is the raw PPT which I have there. I use this and I selected a theme that, okay, this is the theme I want. The content I pasted based on what. Then it asks me the theme, what light blue, depending on your professional and your target audience. It generated the presentation for me. And let's see. It will generate right in front of you. So it will insert images, put the right tables and sideways. So you can definitely edit the image and everything, but it's definitely better looking than the plain slide. So again, I haven't touched anything except the old PPT and give some prompts in here, but it does a lot of work for me. Now, okay, when I have some time on my flight or on the go, I can amend this PPT, I can download this, share this, and put some content or changes maybe, or maybe ask my staff to do change. So it will not be as heavy lifting that if I have to start amending any PPT from a scratch or even draft a PPT from a scratch. So that's the use case of Copilot, Microsoft PowerPoint, and the Gamma. The other use case that I want to show is Copilot and Microsoft Word. Let me show you again. Okay. Now let me open a prompt for you. Let's say I have a session. Let's say again, I need to go to a session. I need to prepare a detailed agenda for a topic that I have been given. Let's say select international tax and transfer pricing issues for startups in India. Now, I have a bit of idea about this sector based on my research, like what are the issues and controversy, like maybe issues in fundraising, capital, like transfer pricing, ESOPs, budget, maybe that. I have this much idea only, but I need something beyond this because I need to create a PPT or maybe I need to give it to the organizers for creating the press flyer. So what I'll do is I'll give this document to Copilot with the prompt. I'm invited as a speaker on the top. Just a second. I post this prompt. I'm invited as a speaker on the topic cross-border tax issue. Below is the brief agenda, using the knowledge on the web and other sources on my OneDrive. So because I know I have been some collecting some material on this issue, so there would be some files available. So I would ask the Copilot to search my OneDrive and prepare a nice agenda for me. Now let's see what will it do. I'll give this file to it. It will go through it. And okay, let's see. There is some error with this. No worries. We'll go with the what I previously generated. Let's try once more. Okay. Now it has. Let's see. So as you can see, from a plain and raw agenda, it come up with a very nice expanded version of your agenda, wherein it says what you can thoughts you can collect, taxability of cross-border transactions, overview of the startup system, capital fundraising, exit tax, capital gain, repatriation, even transfer pricing, ESOPs. So all I'm saying is that can read your document apart from your OneDrive library and the internet, and it can come up with a document. So it's combining AI with your Word and your own previous sources, and it will come up with quite a nice document for you within a short span of time. So this is one use case for Copilot. Now, for Excel, there are quite a lot use cases, to be honest. And with time constraint, I'll just take one small use case. Let's say I have a stock price data between listed stocks Sun Pharma and Nifty 50 for last 30-35 days. I'm doing a valuation analysis for like a DCF valuation. One of the input in the DCF valuation, in fact, I can perform entire valuation in Copilot. I can do a free cash flow analysis, the discounted rate and calculation, growth rate and beta. So I'll just calculate one simple input for you, which is like a beta, which measures the volatility between the stock price and the market index. So what I'll do is I'll give this file to you. It, it to Copilot, and I'll ask, I want to calculate stock data of the Sun Pharma stock attached with the historical price data of stock and Nifty 50. Compute the beta. If you calculate in Excel, beta is quite a complex exercise because you need quite a few statistical calculation. You need to calculate the covariance and standard deviations and etc. Let's see beta. But yeah, so can see now if you want, I have calculated the beta. How is it captured? You can ask follow-up questions. Can you explain how beta is calculated? It will so. So like this, you can give quite a lot of your Excel data, be it your audit files, expense record, it to generate some random numbers for you. It will do. I mean, Copilot can do a lot of heavy lifting for you. Even if I can say generate a scatter plot. It already understood what I meant to say. Based on the data provided means confirm and Nifty 50. So this is all about the natural language we are seeing. It's the contextual language. So it is smart enough to understand what I'm saying in my previous prompt. And now it is using that memory to generate the results. So while it generates this, let me give you an overview of what do we have the next for. This is very interesting branding and social media management. Let me just go with the Excel one and then, okay. It also generated the prompt for the scatter plot. You can copy paste or in your PPT or your diagrams anyway. If you're writing a research report, something like that, you can use this. And what does this mean? You can ask whether it is correlated or not correlated. What's the pattern or trend? Is there a correlation? You can see it already answered. So you can ask your data analysis at least. And it can also help you with complex Excel formulas. You can just copy paste your data and say, I want to apply a particular sum if formula or index match, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. It can give you the formula guidance. So correlation means 0.42 means less correlated. Yeah. One indicates a perfect, zero indicates. So it will give you moderate level of correlation. So it's quite intelligent, I would say, the Copilot one. Now let's move on to the next type of use cases, which is related to the social media. We have seen that after ChatGPT, and we have seen people getting lots of on LinkedIn. You can generating post, idea, blog post, text to image, text to video, reels, etc. We are not going to cover video generation and all that. We can do on some another day, but I'll be focusing more on how we can use the chat GPT and other tools to create meaningful, researchful contents and insight that we can post it on our social media to gain traction and interest. And at the same time, we look into some of the tools how these uh, social media posts and branding we can do it on an autonomous basis, like automation tools in Canva, in calendar management, and something like that. So let's see. Uh, First, let's say I want to generate some ideas. Uh, let's say what business I am, and this is the prompt that I gave to ChatGPT. I said I run an accounting and international outsourcing firm that provides accounting and taxation confirm. I want blog post and article ideas for my social media LinkedIn. The idea should be latest, trending, and relevant for 2024. Now, it obviously gives quite a few ideas based on its research: AI in accounting, future of accounting, blockchain, on the tax related firm, navigating global tax reforms, what do we. So, all these ideas are quite catchy, interest generating, and find it challenging, and as well as someone would be eager to know this. So what I did is I selected some of the ideas, and now for writing article, there are two options. I mean, there are some specific AI tools which can generate article for you, and you can use the capabilities of the chat GPT as well. So we have already seen the capability of the chat GPT for generating content. Now I'm using some specific tool that is uh, industry standard for generating articles. The name of the tool is writesonic.com. You can have a look, just opening. Now I'll show you one article that I generated from here. But before that, I'll go to the steps that I used. So this is the app.writesonic.com. If you go AI article writer, it will ask you uh, what kind of article you want. You want a lower quality or just a plain vanilla article or a detailed research one. So I think that I would go with a detailed one, 10-step article because that will cover everything. Okay. So I'll show you what I generated, but the steps as well, how I followed because uh, there are less credits for me to generate again. So I'll go with the one, but I will show the process that I followed for each step. So the first step is enter a topic. So to enter a topic, I use the help of ChatGPT, and as well as it also suggests once I enter the topic, you also get prompts like it's giving impact of AI, blockchain, navigating cross-border sale. So I selected the topic like role of technology in efficient compliance with the EU VAT regulation for EU commerce suppliers and distance sales suppliers. So I selected this topic. Now, the next step would be the type of article. What kind of article is it? Is it an instant article? Is it a to-do guide? Is it a comparison or product review or a blog post? I thought it's a technical article because it's related to the VAT regulations and compliance. So it's a technical article. You can mark it as. And what do you want to do the research? You want to give the research on your own to give it some material you have collected, or you want to do a web research. Since I don't have much material on it immediately at my hand, so I selected do a web research. Now, web research is plain like it does a Google search, and upon Google search, it comes up with the reference of the articles like taxation.com, avalara.com, Thomson Reuters. So while doing the web research, obviously what we trust the articles which are some from a reputed source. So I selected like one from Thomson Reuters, one from Avalara, one from EU Commission. You can choose up to five. Okay. So I selected these articles as a reference point, which for taking up the content. Even if we were to prepare the article, we do some research, we do reading. So that's the same way the AI is doing. It is picking up the knowledge from the internet, reading it. Now, this is a keyword that is for search engine optimization that is generally used. Like, what would you add in your tools, like e-commerce VAT or something like that, depending on. You can go with an AI recommended or you can add your own keyword. Then the next step is the title of or the main. So there are a couple of options that AI would generate for you. You can go with the recommended one or a standard one, or up to you. Then the next step is the secondary keywords. Okay, the other part you can go with any of one depending on the recommendation, volume, these are some statistics, or you can go with some AI recommended options. It will also say. Now the headings, how many headings you want? You want four to five, five to six? I would say beyond five to six header, it becomes quite complicated to read, but up to you how many words you want. I would say technical article, even 1,000 to 200 words, it's quite a long article. So you need to break it down into five to six headings. That would be good enough. Now it gave you the structure of your article. How do you want how it will give you a couple of options like understanding first, you want to begin with process, strategy, risk management, conclusion, or it will go with some of the things like introduction, navigating compliance, marketplace, VAT return filing. More or less would be the same, but it would be a reshuffling of the same. So I selected the first one. Okay. Yeah. Then we go with the some enhancements in a sense. Whether you want the article to be a humanized version, which is a new feature, like it looks like not a machine written article, but more of a human written. That's one feature that they have been adding recently in the. Then citations, you want the feature as an end in the footnote, or you want as a hyperlink within the article. You want to generate a cover image, and also you have seen the late that the articles in the internet have at the end some FAQs, because some of the information that they may be looking may be in the form of FAQ. They may not be interested in reading the entire article. So generate FAQs at the end. So that's one thing. Then if you see, if yeah, after this will generate the article. And this is how the final product will look. It generated a high quality image. It generated the quite a few introduction and the headings that we selected. And it has two options. You want a humanized version or an AI version. You can select both. AI original version would be more of like an AI one, but humanized version is a better tone and language. So you can do either of this. So this is good article. You can publish it on your LinkedIn, on your website, or on any of your social media. And then you can see as at the end it has FAQs. You can download it as well. It has option here. Or and once I download it, you can have it in the form of Word doc, which you can edit it, upload it anywhere, do it a PDF. That's the same. But yeah, you can download it. Okay, so this is how we can generate a nice quality article. Then I would say these way sometimes you are on the go. You are, let's say, reading a newspaper or a magazine or a financial journal. You might find that piece of information quite interesting, and you want to post something instantly or create a something. Let's say this is what I do. I found this in, let's say, a few days Economic Times article. If you can, so I'll zoom. This article is about some uh, tax inquiries about the undisclosed properties in Dubai. This came like a week back or maybe a bit later. I find this interesting and I want this to share maybe to my group or a client or something. So I said simply to the Gemini, this is another chatbot. Hey Google, from the attached article clipping, prepare a brief summary for my newsletter or brief summary for circulation in my client groups. So here is a summary of the article you want. Taxman targets Indians with Indian view around 100. It gives you, I can be assured that this article is from a reputed source anyway, so the content would just be a summary. So I just need to read. And this will also help me maybe if I have let's say my client sent this news like clipping, and I want to get a brief insight on this on the go. So I can attach this and get this information on the go. So Google Gemini is available on the mobile as well. So we can have that. So this is a nice summary it will generate for you. And you can ask some follow-up questions like it has to do with like maybe treaty benefit, tax residency. So I can ask, can you help me with the relevant provisions of income tax and UAE tax dealing with tax residency rules for non-residents and Dubai citizens? So it will give you all the information what you want. So idea is you can use even from a news clipping, which is like a plain image for you, but it can read image and generate relevant output for you. So this is on social media again. The third and the very interesting tool again, which is LinkedIn Outreach Automation Tool. The name of the tool is Meet Alfred, and I'm using a trial version, but you can use a paid version as well. It costs around $40 a month, but you can get some discount. So roughly 30 or $25 would be cost. Now the problem here is like if I were to go to my LinkedIn and I have, let's say, I need to, let's say, connect to the US CPAs or a UK CPA. If I were to do this in the manner, traditional manner, where I first find out in LinkedIn who are they, I'll send a connection request to them, then I'll send a message for them, maybe to generate interest, maybe I like their post or send. But but all this is gonna take some time. I won't be able to do maximum 10, 30 for me. But the business development, or I would say cold outreach happens, the success of it depends how many number of connects you reach. So to magnify the success and to reach maximum number of connects, what we'll do is this is a LinkedIn outreach automation tool, which can all automate and speed up the process that we have done this. So let me just go and create one campaign for you. Okay, let's do it. Let me do a LinkedIn search. I would say that do a LinkedIn search for, let's say, for now I want US CPAs to know because I want to reach out there to them. So I'll go US CPA accountant. And if you don't know what to search, you can go for ChatGPT, go for the Boolean search tools. You can see the let's say I want you pay CP accountant and a not partner or only partner, you can put these kind of filters. But Boolean search is a specific search which use understand the language like and or no or not. So you can even go to the chat GPT and ask that I want to do a Boolean search on this subject. Can you give me the relevant search result? It can give you. So let's say I want US CP accountant, it's plain. What I need to know, I need to know the connections. I need to know second, third, or whatever level of connection. Okay. I want maximum number of leads. If you want to have connections only with Janual, maybe you can exclude profile without photos, with photos. That's up to you. Then next step. Then you can do a next step first before sending a connection request because nobody likes a unknown connection. It gets we engage with the profile. Let's say you view their link, you auto follow them, you endorse their skills. Let's say like their recent post. How many posts? It should not be too much like you're liking each of their posts, but like two or three posts if you like them. Then next step, you send a connection request to them. After how many days? Let's say after a cool off period of 2, 3 days, you send a connection request. You can put your standard template of connection. You can ask ChatGPT to give you a connection template. It will give you that. You can store your template here as well if you want, and you can personalize it by putting the first name and the last name. So that way it will look more personalized. Then you can send a follow-up message with them after, let's say, 2, 3 days. You can select this. Then the next step we can add is you can send a LinkedIn message as well. Once you are connected, let's say after connection, you can 2 to 3 days. You can even send them a connection request. You can give a hi, we are liking. And you can also attach a attachment. Let's say you have a white paper created or an article on EU VAT like I created. You can say that, okay, I thought you are interested in EU VAT. Here is my latest publication, stuff like that. So everything you can do this and you can next. Now you can publish this. Let's say USCP. This is my campaign name. Now let's see. It is starting to generate leads. You can see 12, 16, 19. Maybe it will generate more. I mean, it will take time. Last I run it generated like 467 leads for me. So So once I have identified this lead, still running, I can say, and it will start performing the steps that I have, and it will give you a activity step, that lead form. Now it will start performing those steps in my LinkedIn account. They will start reaching out, put them a follow request, like their post, and so this is all happening in my background. I don't need to do now, leave my routine task or client meetings or anything, and it will happen automatically. So this is the magic. Uh, you can do anything on whatever you want. So this is another important outreach automation tool. Then another tool I think uh, which will I think that will be the last one because we are running a bit of a time. But let me show you some last tools. It's the tool name is Flick AI. Let me show you. So this is for your post generation, content scheduling, and uh, nice graph, putting a graphic on your tool. So let's see. I want to generate a new post. Okay, there is a whole idea. So let's go for the home page first. Okay, I want to post ideas first. So what I do is, if I don't know what I want to post, let's do it a brainstorming. What do I want to post on the trends in accounting outsourcing in India? Okay, I want to post on this, maybe brainstorm ideas. You can select any of the theme: technological innovation, data emerging niche. Okay, I'll select this. Base this, it will generate post ideas for me. Now, based on the theme, sustainable accounting practices, green accounting practices, startup financial consulting, you can select. Okay, you can select any. Let's say to my idea. It will add to your idea. Now you can start writing the post on this. Generate caption. Just I was thinking maybe let's go to the idea. Sorry for that. Just able to find out. Yeah. Yes. Now I will put my Okay. No, I can generate some graphic as well. It will be in the carousel form if you need. You can select graphic. So I'm saying that you can generate content as well as design here in the same particular team. You need not to go to Canva and or maybe another graphic designing tool to generate content and design your post. So you generate a nice post for you and will automatically create a swipe, the kind of which is very trending nowadays. So within a click, you get a post with the relevant graphic and you can post it. You can generate hashtags here and you can select the list and you can customize this whatever you want to do. And the other feature which I want to show here is you can schedule the content as well. Whatever content, you can plan a content calendar. Let's say this is very, I want a 1 week content to be planned for me. Click media. Let's say expertise my international financial statement privilege. Are there any interest? No. Okay. If there is any event or you can put it like say it will create content calendar based on the profile that you have given to the like explore how leveraging you can put it format like video carousel linkedin take camera text overlay. It will create post for you and calendar as well. So I mean it's lot easy nowadays to schedule your calendar post everything. It has given you a detailed. It's a video. The other is a LinkedIn carousel. The other is your team or your client video or maybe text overlay. So all this is happening without any significant effort. You can research the content on ChatGPT, schedule it, and manage it on this Flip app. The other tool now I want to show is a utility within the Canva, but it's very important one. And then I think we'll be off for the day. Let's say I want to create a social media post with a LinkedIn carousel. And let's see, let's take a design, uh, this one. Okay. And I want to post it. Let's say, let's delete. Now, now let's say uh, I want to create this, but I need to create for let's say 10, 15. Then how would I do? There is a utility in Canva itself, which is called bulk create, wherein I can upload the template that I have created. And that template I have generated from ChatGPT itself. That uh, I want to post it on Canva on a bulk basis. Create a table for me. I want to create a 5 page LinkedIn carousel on the topics related to, let's say, benefit of outsourcing, importance of accurate bookkeeping, etc. Around these topic five in a tabular format as serial number header text. So it created a table for me. Now I use this tabular data. Now I have all the text that I need in a tabular format, which I will now upload in Canva. Let's see the magic. I have the header, I have the description, I have the main text. Now what I will do is I simply upload this file to Canva in the bulk upload, upload data. Okay. Now I just need to connect the data, which is just like mapping. So now I can do what I'll connect this with the carousel header. And just let's say, and let's say, and connect this with text description. Connect data and with the description. Now see what will happen. I'll press continue. Boom. So it will generate 25 designs for me in a second with the heading, and you can post it on any of the format. This is way. Right? These are 25 posts. It is generated instantly without pasting anything on this table I have generated from ChatGPT itself. So nothing manual, just mapping of data in Excel to Canva, and we can, and you can do it for everything. You can do it for your newsletter. This is just a very simple example, but you can do it for everything. So this is a bulk create utility. You upload the data in Excel, and I think that way you can streamline it. I'm sorry for short of time, but we can discuss the other use cases as well in some other planned session. But for now, I think this is it for today.